What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Tiberious back with another video, and today we are going to take a look at the POF Renegade. POF, or Patriot Ordnance Factory, makes some of the nicest AR-15s and AR-15 accessories in the gun industry. If they came to me today and said, hey, Mr. T, we love you, you are so cool, we want to make a series of rifles that say Mr. T on them. What do you want for features and specs? I would get this rifle, for the most part, hand it to them, and say, make me one of these. A couple small changes, but for the most part, this would be the rifle that I would choose. Plus, I am absolutely positively in love with the POF Revolution, and one day, I will absolutely own that gun. Before we get started, let me give a big thanks to my brother Paul. Paul is a friend of this channel. He lent this rifle to us so I could show it to you guys. That is super, super appreciated. I must say, the people in the gun community are some of the nicest people in this entire country. Not talking about the trolls on Instagram, just the average gun owner is a very, very good person. Last but certainly not least, if you think I deserve it at any time during this video, please hook me up with a like, or a comment, or a subscribe. If you want to do any of those things, it truly, truly helps us out, and I truly, truly appreciate it. With that all out of the way, let's take a look at this rifle. Let's start at the bottom, work our way forward. As you see, it has a Mission First tactical stock to help keep the weight down a little bit. Speaking of weight, this entire rifle comes in just over 6 pounds. Moving up to the charging handle, it is called POF's Tomahawk charging handle. I think it's very, very good size. It's big enough where you can easily get it, but it's not too huge where it's going to snag on anything. And feels good, very, very smooth. Your magwell is super, super flared, very, very flared magwell. So if you're doing magazine exchanges, if you choose to use this for competitions, that may definitely come in hand. Your grip is a standard mag pull grip. Obviously that can be changed out if you don't like that. One of the few things I don't like about this rifle is inside the trigger guard, there is a bolt hold open button. You push this button open, pull the charging handle to the rear, and it locks the bolt to the rear. It is cool, it is innovative, it is great for malfunctions, definitely an easier way of locking the bolt to the rear, but I'm not a big fan of playing around in the trigger guard at all. I don't think there should be any controls in the trigger guard besides the trigger. But what do you guys think? Am I being overly paranoid, overly worried? I'm thinking about some of the yo-yos I've seen at the range before, and thinking about safety, and it makes me concerned, but I want to hear your opinion. It is way easier to clear malfunctions and lock the bolt to the rear. I will give him credit for that. Moving back to this trigger here. Oh my God, holy 3.5 pound flat face triggers. This trigger is like a spiritual encounter. I mean, this trigger is the nicest AR-15 trigger I have ever felt. Hands down, not even close. There is zero take up. Now it helps if I turn the safety off, huh? There's just zero take up. And then your reset. That's it. It's obviously a single stage trigger. It is super, super short. If you are going to use this for home defense, definitely practice a lot. You don't want to have any accidental discharges, being that trigger is insanely short. You see some anti-walk pins right here, if that's something that's important to you. All the controls on this gun, like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, are 100% ambi. So your magazine release, your bolt release, your safety, all the controls work on both sides of the gun. So back on this side, you have your mag release, you have a bolt release, your safety over here, and then in the trigger guard you have another bolt catch inside of there. The bolt release on this side of the gun is kind of interesting to me. I didn't spend a ton of time with it, but I think if I really worked at reloads using this button for mag releases, or to release the bolt when I'm doing magazine exchanges, I should say, I think it would cut a ton of time off my magazine reloads. My only hesitation would be if I switch from a rifle like this that has the bolt release on this side to a rifle that doesn't. I wouldn't want to have any training scars and have any problems switching back and forth from one to the other. Back to the safety here, it is super smooth. The safety selector is exactly the same size on both sides of the gun. The lower is beautiful. It is POF's Gen 4 billet ambi lower, and not only are the controls great, I think it is a beautiful, beautiful billet lower. You have the POF logo, Phoenix, Arizona. All these things are made right there in Phoenix. Back to the dust cover. I actually want to show you the dust cover. It is Tiberious approved. If my camera would focus on it, there we go, because God bless America. Let's slide on up to the forend here. The forend feels great. Also, it looks great, of course, just like everything else on this gun, but the size is good. Not too skinny, not too big. It is very, very nicely sized. It's 14 inches long. It has M-LOK at 3, 6, and 9 o'clock, so you can add all your doohickeys and lights and lasers. As you see, it has a Picatinny rail at the 12 o'clock spot, and then up front at 6 o'clock, it has a small section of Picatinny rail. So if you want to add a bipod or one of those tactical forend grip sacks, you can do so. QD sling points. Oh my God, this thing has QD sling points all over the place. I counted 7 and then I stopped counting. It has 2 in the rear of the foregrip, 2 in the front of the foregrip, 2 back here, and then the stock has 1. So I think that's 7, but again, I'm not the smartest. Even the gas tube in here has some innovation compared to a standard AR-15. It is a straight gas tube. There's no bends or kinks in it. POF says that helps to eliminate potential weak points and any clogging, and just makes the rifle a lot more reliable. That gas tube feeds into a 9-position adjustable gas block. POF calls it the dictator. So if you want to fine tune this for whatever type of ammo you're running, or if you're lucky enough to own suppressors, one day I will move out of Rhode Island so I can own suppressors. But this has a 9-position adjustable gas block. Underneath this forend is a beautiful 16.5-inch match grade nitrite heat treated barrel. It is chromoly lined. It has a 1 in 8 twist, and the thread pitch is 1.5 by 28. So you can easily add suppressors or different muzzle brakes if you want to, and the barrel is just extremely high quality. One cool thing, let me flip this gun over. Inside of the chamber, it has POF's E2 dual extraction technology. So this is another cool thing that a lot of POF rifles have. They cut four small slits inside of the chamber. So when you fire a round, a little bit of gas seeps back into the chamber and helps push the round backward. So you have true push-pull extraction. Your extractor is pulling the round out. That little bit of gas is pushing it from the other end. And even when the gun gets super, super dirty, it should be very, very durable and extract those rounds without any problems. Even the barrel nut has some cool innovation. It's much bigger than the average barrel nut. It's a lot more rigid as well. It's a 3-inch barrel nut. If this was my gun, I'd take it apart and show you. But I'll put a picture up here on the screen so you can see it. Being the barrel nut is so long, it actually helps as a heat sink. It helps dissipate the heat 17 times more than a standard barrel nut. So if you're being tactical and doing mag dumps, this will help dissipate some of that heat. The front of the barrel has a very, very nice muzzle brake. It is a tri-port muzzle brake. It does a very, very good job taming the already low recoil of a 223 5.56 round. This gun is like shooting super flat like a 22. It's very, very nice to shoot. It does kind of suck if you're standing on the side and your buddy's shooting it, because it really throws all those gases out there, but love the recoil reduction when you're shooting it. Let's go ahead and open this bad boy up. I have a couple cool things to show you inside, especially the BCG. Alright, inside here you'll see these 2 little aluminum screws. Let me get my camera to focus on them. You can raise them in and out to make sure you have a tight lockup between the upper and the lower, and make sure there's no slop or wiggle, so that's kind of cool. Whoa, I did that too hard. Forgot how smooth of a rifle it is. Charging handle again, called the Tomahawk. Obviously, it's ambi like every other control on this gun. I think it's sized well, so you can easily manipulate it, but not too big where you're going to snag it on something. Now, this bolt is called their Ultimate DI GI BCG, and I had to read that one because that's a lot of letters, but it does have some cool innovations. First thing, the cam pin is on a roller. So instead of a traditional cam pin that's going to be rubbing inside of an upper, this is actually a roller, and it actually rolls inside the upper. So it's not only is it smooth, it's more reliable, it's not going to tear up that upper and cause any problems over time. The whole bolt carrier is nickel coated. Another cool feature is the gas key here. The gas key doesn't have the traditional 2 screws that are staked down. There's actually no screws in it at all, so there's nothing you have to worry about coming loose, or is it properly staked, or if there's anything you need to do. Again, just the little things POF does. You can tell these guys are absolutely shooters, and they overly think everything and see how they can make every little aspect of this rifle better than their competitors. With all this innovation and all this cool technology, guys, these rifles are not cheap. Do not expect this to be your $500 M&P Sport. However, I do think it is worth the extra money if you're looking for a high-end rifle. There's nothing wrong with having an M&P Sport, but if you're looking for a higher-end rifle with nice touches, this will absolutely be worth every single cent. Again, I think this is the nicest rifle under $200. Under $2,000, I wish 200, under $2,000 on the market. So as far as pricing, your MSRP, depending on which version you get, is somewhere between $1,800 and $2,000. You can get them at the time of this video between $1,500 and $1,700. The rifle version comes in black and burnt bronze, and it's also available in a California compliant version. Then the pistol version of the Renegade Plus is available. They're all 10.5-inch barrels, and then it's available in 5.56 and it's available in 300 blackout. This rifle in 300 blackout suppressed 10.5. Wow, that would be quite the rifle. Anyway, let's dive out real quick, and I have a couple last thoughts for you. That might have been the longest review I have ever done, but I think this gun absolutely deserves it. As far as pros, there's going to be a ton of them. The trigger is great. All the ambi controls are wonderful. That E-squared chamber, the push-pull extraction is very, very cool, very, very innovative. The 9-port gas, adjustable gas block is great. I could go on and on, but there's a lot of innovation in this rifle, and that's what I'm most excited about. When there's so many everyday cookie cutter Me Too AR-15s out there, this is one of the few rifles that you actually see some innovation, from the bolt to the barrel. Everything on the rifle has a lot of great innovation. As far as cons, guys, I only have one. It's going to be that bolt hold open inside of the trigger guard. But what do you guys think about it? Am I being too paranoid, too worried? Is there any concern? I think anytime you're messing around in the trigger guard, it just makes me nervous. But what do you think? Sign off in the comments. Let me know. I know it is great for clearing malfunctions, and it's much easier locking the bolt to the rear. Just safety-wise, I have some concerns there. As far as uses, I think this gun can do just about anything, from home defense to personal defense to competitions to range days. I think this gun can handle just about anything that you throw at it. One more time, let me thank my buddy Paul. He's the one who lent this gun to the channel so I could show you guys. Paul, you, sir, are a gentleman and a scholar. Thank you very, very much. Before I let you guys go, if you think I deserve it, please hook me up with those likes. Hook me up with a comment. Hit that subscribe button. If you feel like doing any of those things, I greatly, greatly appreciate it. I'll see you next time. Peace. Keep a goat if I hit.